Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. A few months back, Chloris got in touch and asked if I'd like to have a look at their new flashlight, the XT2CR Pro, which I'm glad that I got the name right because I've been practicing it all morning. I keep getting the numbers and the letters the wrong way around. But 2100 lumen flashlight, which is a great tactical option. Let's take a closer look. Now, quick look around the box of the XT2CR Pro. Now, I don't know why I'm struggling with my word state, so I'm just going to call this the Pro for now, because XT2CR Pro, I mean, I did it really good that time, but let's just call it the Pro for now. Quick look around the box. On the side gives you some information as far as the battery, 18650, USB type C. You can drop it from up to 1 meters, or I mean, don't recommend that you drop it, but if you did, you know, it's going to be safe. IPX8, again, some more information on the side as far as candela, maximum hours, blah blah blah, and then you've got again some of your information here, so I'll just hold that there. Hopefully you can see that, just in case you want to see through on there. It just gives you a little bit more information about what's in it inside the box. So you get the light and you get one of these, you get a case for it, and then on the right hand side within here you've got, if I turn this around, so you got your charging cable, some extra O-rings and a lanyard that's in there as well. Now I am just going to bring this in for 1 second because you can actually get all of this as part of a bundle, which I spoke to Chloris about. Chloris was super happy to send one of these over. So you've got your light and you know you need to keep it charged, blah blah blah, but you can also pick up one of these with it. So this is an external battery pack, and hopefully on there you can see at the top, you can see how much charge there is within here. The beauty of this is, rather than it just having a battery in there, you can use this to charge additional batteries. Now I've put in, I know I probably should, I've just put Chloris ones in here, but I wanted to show that this doesn't just work with Chloris batteries. In fact, the battery in here isn't a proprietary one, so if for some reason I'd got all of these other different batteries and I wanted to put them into here, then I could do this with all of these. But you can use this to charge all of your batteries, so that you've got a solution to charge everything. In fact, on the top here you've got an in and an out, so you can charge, you can do it all either by USB or USB-C. You can then use this to charge other things, maybe your mobile phone, or you know, whatever it is that you want, or you can charge your battery within here with it, or really what you probably do would be quicker would be to take the battery out of here, drop it into here, and you know, you've got a good solution for that. So this is the K2A, which is an additional battery solution that you can pick up. You can pick this up separately, but you can also pick this up as part of a bundle with both of these. Really good. I'm really impressed with that. Now let's just put this to one side. I say this with Chloris all the time, and I really do mean this. Chloris go a little bit above and beyond as far as their sleeves are concerned. On the outside it's made with a super tough, durable kind of ballistics nylon, but then on the inside it has a neoprene kind of material, so that you're not going to scratch things getting it in or out. Closure on it is really nice. On the back you can either pass it through something, but you can also use this if you want to attach it to your belt as well, which is great, or you can clip it on with a little D-ring there as well. Okay, so here is the actual flashlight itself. This is the Pro. I know it's got a longer name, but I'm just going to call it the Pro for now. Okay, let's go through some housekeeping details. As far as the length of this is concerned, it comes in at 128 millimeters. Which I think is just over, it's kind of roughly 5 inches at its thickest, which it is slightly thicker here at the head because you have this almost kind of knurling, I suppose you could call it. I think really it's designed to be part of a heat sink to help to disperse some of the heat. This does go up to 2100 lumens, so there is a chance of this getting quite warm, but it is 28 millimeters, whereas on its thinnest, which is predominantly the rest of the barrel or the shaft of this, comes in at 25 millimeters. Now that 25 millimeters or 1 inch is a kind of standard, so that if you did want to attach this to a rifle, or if you had a firearm mount that you wanted to attach this to, then it will fit within all kind of your standard 1 inch 1 inch barrel. What do you call it? The little mount, you know what I mean, the mounts that you put on things. Construction wise, it's constructed from your aluminium. It is the 6061 T6 aluminium, which is an aerospace aluminium, which makes sure, one, it's very tough. It's used by a lot of manufacturers to make sure that they can make tough and wear resistant flashlights, but it also helps to reduce down some of the weight, especially if you were to compare this to maybe a similar light made from steel, and it comes down, this is without the battery. Within here is 139 grams. Now I did kind of touch on the battery, so let's unscrew the end here. So here on the inside is a Chloris 18650 battery. It's a 3100 milliamp hour battery. But again, so I have tested this. All of these other 18, are these 18650? Yes, they are. I had to check them for a second. All of those other 18650 batteries will work within here. So if you have other 18650 batteries that you just have lying around and you want to use those, then yes, of course you can put these in. Now, looking into the barrel in here, hopefully you'll be able to see that there is a spring on the head unit. There's also a spring in the tail unit. So if you need to use this to bang it against things, or again, you know, if you are attaching this onto a rifle and you've had some of those in the past that don't have those dual springs and the light cuts off when you pull the pew pew button, this has a spring in both ends to dampen that shock when the freedom pellets are emitted via the pew pew button. Working at the actually, as far as charging this is concerned, here on the end, so I did mention this again. So this is a micro USB-C charge port on there, and again, Chloris do go above and beyond with the little bungs that they put in there. Once that's in there, it's in there pretty fast. It's also quite deep as well, so that when it pushes in, it seats in there really well. I've tried other USB-C cables with this and they've all worked. I haven't found any ones that don't work, and whilst it's charging, it will also go through, you know, the functions that allow you to use it whilst it's charging as well. There is a clip on here which is completely removable if you choose to take that off. You'll certainly need to do that if you are attaching this to a rifle. In the end here, hopefully you'll be able to see there is just the single LED in there and a really nice deep orange peel reflector. Around the glass there is a toughened bezel, just in case you do need to knock this against something. Flipping it all the way around, come to the tail end, and this is kind of where all of the magic happens. So I'll go through this. I suppose this is the standard. This is how it comes to you when you first get it, but you can change between, let's say, a tactical mode and a more EDC mode. As it arrives though, it is in this tactical mode. So there are two buttons here on the end. You have your main kind of operational button, which will give you instant access to its turbo mode, which is your 1200 lumens, or you can then press, while it's turned off, you can then press the extra switch on here, which will give you instant access to its strobe mode. The strobe mode on this isn't a variable refresh, and it uses all of the 2100 lumens for its strobe. Now, if you do use the main button, which turns it on to the main option for you, you can then use the additional tail switch to then go through the different light options. So when it comes on, at first, it will always come on its turbo mode. If you then press the secondary switch, it will then turn it down to its high mode. Then you've got medium, and then you've got low. And then if you press it again, it will then cycle back round to its turbo mode. As I mentioned though, this is the tactical version, so you can turn this so it will then go on to its normal version. So if you'll see here, on just here above or to the right of where the charging unit is, there is a little LED on here. If I press this down, it turns green, and eventually after a few seconds it'll turn red. If I now press the main button, this will now switch the modes. So when I turn it on, it will then cycle through each of those. Again, similar to how it was before, it will always turn on turbo, high, medium, low. But if I then press the secondary tail button, it will turn it on to low rather than going instant access onto the strobe settings. Now with the strobe and the low, if you hold it down for a few seconds, it will then keep it on for you, and to then go through these modes, you can then press that button and it will give you instant access again, you know, if you wanted to. If you wanted to cycle through these, you can then press the secondary button, and then this will then cycle from low, medium, high, turbo. It's a nice setup actually, and again, so to be able to, let's turn this off, let's switch this back, so again you can see the little LED there. If I hold this down for a few seconds, eventually that LED will turn red. There we go, press it again, and we're now back in tactical mode, where the secondary button gives you instant access to your strobe. Your main button is the same, it's always the same with the two. It gives you instant access to your turbo settings. Really nice. Now let's have a look at how this works in the dark. Now just so you're aware, what I've done is I've actually turned it down, or at least I've switched it back on to the EDC mode out of the tactical mode, mainly because generally what I like to do is I like to start on its lowest and then work its way up. So at this current moment in time, it's on its low setting, which the lumens for the low setting is just 10 lumens. Now I'd say this is pretty good. 10 lumens, it's great when you're on low, but because of the orange peel reflector on this doesn't give it a particularly defined warm spot, but it's quite a deep orange peel reflector, so you still get a reasonable amount of throw with it. So for 10 lumens on low, it just means that now I can easily see 7, 8, 9, probably 10, 12 meters ahead of me. So if I'm walking the dog, you know, I can see him fine. Now for the people that watch this a lot, look how much the water's come up in the last few days. It's nearly just under this pontoon. It's crazy how much rain we've been having recently. Now with a long press, with a click of the secondary function button on here, it goes up to the medium mode. Medium mode on this is 100 lumens, and you get a good throw with 100 lumens. And looking out onto the water, you can probably just about see there in the middle, there is that little kind of island, the trees on the opposite side. That tree there is about 10 meters away. The tree that's just inside there is about 20 meters away. Now I can click it again, which will take it up to the high mode. You can see that you gain a lot more light out of this now. High mode on this is 400 lumens. You can now see there is a waterfall just over there. This tree, so much easier to see. We can look up into the canopy. Not really much of a canopy, it's the winter at the moment, so all of the leaves are gone, but the tree over there, which is another kind of standard one that I'll look at about 20 meters away, and being able to see on the opposite side of the lake is so much easier. Now what I'll do is I'll come back here again. I'll make sure I don't fall into the water as I usually do. Okay, so hopefully you can see the warm spot. There is a warm spot, there definitely is one there. It's not a particularly well defined warm spot again, so this has orange peel reflector on there, which will reduce how defined that is, but as a strange kind of add-on, the fact that it's quite a deep reflector. So what I'll do, holding this out, I'll turn it as I usually do, 45 degrees to the left, 45 degrees to the right. If I bring this down here, you can see the skirt of the light, which is reasonably well defined. here on the high mode, which, as I mentioned, this is 400 lumens. Now I can press it again. This will take me up to the turbo mode. The turbo mode on this is 2100 lumens. So getting back to that little island in the middle there, you can really see that. You can see the new sign that I've put up telling people not to fish here. More trees, opposite side of the lake. This tree now is lit up like a Christmas tree, the one that's next to it again. Super easy to see. And then the trees on the far side there again. Now the little ornamental waterfall that's here is so much easier. I don't know if you can pick that up, but the amount of water that's cascading down that at the moment because of the rain that we've been having. Again, I'll just hold this up over my head a little bit more so that you can see this, how well that it kind of floods. Now pressing the second tail switch function again, sorry, I just had to get my hand on that. This will then cycle that back round so that it's on its low mode. So when you're on the EDC mode, it starts off on low and then goes medium, high, turbo. Whereas if you want to still get access to your full turbo, you can do with the main tail switch, which gives you instant access to the turbo. Let's get this back in focus. And then the secondary tail function goes down to high, then medium, and then low. So there's a little bit more that you kind of get with that, a little bit more kind of options. But with the EDC mode, you don't get access to the oh, what's it called? The strobe mode. The strobe mode on this uses the full 2100 lumens that you get from the high setting. Now I generally have a bit of a sweet spot for Chloris lights. As far as the range is concerned, you know, there's a lot that they've got that cover a lot of different kind of uses, whether it's just for tactical, whether it's for EDC, whether it's for hunting or getting outside. Their budget range generally is towards the mid to high, but you definitely get a lot more than you do with some other lights. The fact that you can change between different options, and you've got whether you want the tactical or whether you want the EDC. I think these are great lights, and yeah, definitely check them out. Now I do want to say a huge thank you to Chloris for sending me this. Full disclosure, you know, Chloris do send me lights regularly, but because of the good relationship that I have with them, you know, if I hated the light or, you know, there's parts of it that I didn't like, I'd certainly tell you they're very good and allow me to kind of do that. This is another one of those standard ones that I think it just hits so many different sweet spots, and it's just a good all-round light, and definitely should be one in the few days left of 2023 and into 2024 that you should maybe keep your eyes on. Now, of course, I'll leave some links below so that you can see more from this light. I'll also leave some of my social media links here on Moorlander EDC and also my sister channel, Moorlander Tactical. But for now, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. Right, and I keep getting it wrong, but I got it right this time. So Chloris. Chloris. Was it? Where was that going? Nowhere. That's where that was going. Quickly. And stay dry. I've had to make this over a couple of different shots because I have to go in and then out and then in and then out because of this bloody rain. This isn't natural Moorlandese weather. This is when it rains in England and it blows over us. Stupid English and their bloody weather. It's a bit of a mouthful, this one is. I keep getting it wrong. XT2. I want to say XT2CR, but it's not. It's the XT2CR Pro. I have to work some random magic, see if I can. I'm not going to be able to remember it. Right, Hi, I'm the Moorlander, and this is Moorlander EDC. A few months back, the good people at Chloris got in touch and asked if I'd like to have a look at one of their new flashlights.